Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be making this beautiful and sexy all white party outfit you're watching right now in this video. This is a complete tutorial, so make sure you don't skip any part for a better understanding. I made this outfit with a 2.5 yards of crepe fabrics by 60 length. So guys, make sure you like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so very much guys. I got you and I know you got me too. Love you.
So guys, let's go ahead and do the needful. I'll be cutting the trouser part of this outfit first, and I'm using this pattern paper. You know the fabric is a... So I'll be starting my measurement from 1.5 inches. From there, I will locate my hip line, which is 9 inches. Then after my hip line, the next line will be my crotch line, which is 10.5 inches, followed by my knee line, which is 20 inches. The length of my trouser is 43 inches. So I'll go ahead and take all the measurements around the middle of my paper. Then I will go ahead and connect the lines. Remember, the first line is my hip line outside my waistline, then followed by my crotch line. How do you get your crotch line? You divide your round hip into 4, then whatever you have will serve as your crotch line. That is vertically when you divide your hip into 4. So I added 1/2 inch to my own, so that gives me 10.5. My round hip is 40 inches. So I will come to my hip line. I will take my hip circumference divided by 4, which is 10. I added 2 inches for sewing allowance and for a little ease. So I will come to my waistline. I will take the same 12 inches. Then on my crotch line, I will input my round lap divided by 2, which is 12 inches. Then I will now add 2 inches on that same line. So from that 2 inches I added, I will now connect my crotch curve to the hip line. So I will come to my waistline. From the side where I have that vertical line, I will measure my waistline divided by 4. I know you see where I measured from. So my waistline divided by 4 is 8.5 inches. So I added 1.5 inches for sewing allowance. So on my crotch line, I will divide my crotch. Remember, this is where I took my round lap measurements. I will divide it by 2. Can you see? So I will draw a line on the midpoint. If you divide 14, my round lap is 12 inches plus 2 inches I added, that's 14. So if you divide 14 inches by 2, you have 7 inches. So the midpoint of my crotch line is 7. So I will rule a line down on the midpoint. So after that, the next thing I will do is to take my round nail measurement. My round nail is 16 inches. If I divide that by 2, I will have 8 inches. So I will go ahead and input 5 inches on the both sides. I added 1 inch because I have 8 inches, and if you divide 8 inches by 2, you have 4 inches. So I added 1 inch to both. So I will do the same thing around my ankle. My ankle is about 12 inches. So 12 inches divided by 2 is 6. So I will input 4 inches on both sides. I'll put 4 inches on one side, then 4 inches on one side. Remember, one leg of trouser you have to cut into 2. So this is just part of one leg. You know, I'm going to have 2 of these. So this right here is just part of one leg. So if I now cut another one, that one will now make it that 16 inches. So this particular part now is containing 8 inches. So the other one, because you divided it into two, so that one will now complete it 16 inches. Please guys, whatever you don't understand about this trouser, please let me know in the comment section. This is just the easiest way to cut a pant trouser, a very good pant trouser. So make sure you watch this video to the end if you want to know everything about that lovely outfit you saw at the beginning of this video. Please pay attention so that you will not miss out any parts. Can you see what my trouser is looking like? This is the way you sew pants trouser, corporate suits, unless you want a tight leg. So I will go ahead and cut. Remember, this is the front part of my trouser I'm cutting. So I'm cutting the crotch area. So this is the front. This front, we have 2 of these for one leg. So I'll go ahead and cut the back part of my trouser. So I will pick a new pattern paper, then I will place the front one on it. So I'm trying to hold it down with my paper tip. So on that midpoint of the front part of my trouser, remember I'm cutting the back, so I will go up by 1 inch. The back has to be either 1.5 or 1 inch longer than the front part. Only the center back, not the side, only the center back. So on my hip side, I measured 1 inch. This 1 inch, I'm going to use it for the back dart. The front doesn't have a dart. So I will now connect that 1 inch. That 1 inch from my mid back to that 1 inch I added for back darts at the hip side. That's where I am right now. So I will connect it to the hip line. Then the upper part, I will connect it to the 1 inch higher. Can you see? Please. So on my crotch line, I will take 2 inches from where the front crotch line stops. Then I will connect it to the center front line. Can you see? Or I'll make it bolder with my marker. So from there, I will now take the same 2 inches down. When I get to my knee line, I will now reduce it to 1.5. So I will now connect it down to the down part of my trouser. Under my crotch line, I came down by 1/2 inch because I don't want the front crotch and the back crotch to be on the same line. So I came down by 1/2 inch from the front crotch line. Can you see? If you watch very well, you know that the back crotch is 1/2 inch lower than the front crotch. So I'll connect it. This is just what the back parts look like. On the hip side, I added 1 inch. Then on the mid back, I added 1 inch. So the front is 1 inch shorter from the mid back, from the center back and the center front is 1 inch. The back is 1 inch higher. Then by the side, the back is 1 inch wider because I'm going to add that to the back part of my trouser. So that's what it is. So I'm done cutting the trouser, so I'll go ahead and place my pattern paper on my fabric and cut. Can you see what my trouser, the pattern paper, is looking like? So right here is my fabric, is now unfold. So I will add to the length of my trouser on the downside. Remember the paper is shorter, so I have to add the length. Can you see? So this is the front part of my trouser. So on the center front, I will come down by 3/4 inch. You can come down by 1 inch if you want, it's still okay. So I will now trim it. So can you see what the front is looking like? This is the back part. So I'll fold it into 2, then I'll locate the midpoint. So this is where I'm going to take my dart from. My dart is 5 inches long. So I'll go ahead and cut my band. My band is 4 inches width and the length is 36 inches. So the length, it all depends on your round waist. So I'm using 4 inches width. So the next thing I will do is to go to my sewing machine and I will join the 2 front parts together. From the center, I will join them together. So I will stitch to close to where my crotch curve is. So that is where I will stop. Can you see? So I'll pick the back part. This is the back part of my trouser. So I'll go ahead and stitch my darts. My dart is 1/2 inch unfold. You know how to sew your dart. Can you see? I'll do the same thing to the second one. So after that, I'll go ahead and join the center back. So this is the back part of my trouser. I'll go ahead and place the front part on top of it. So from that crotch part, I will now join the 2 inner leg. That's the reason why you don't have to stitch your trouser to the end of the crotch. So I will stitch it to the down part of my trouser. I'll do the same thing to the second leg. So this is the second leg. I'll run a stitch down. So after that, the next thing I will do is to give my stitching a good press. So I will iron it open.
So I'll iron the both leg. All the stitches I've made, I will iron them, both the darts. Can you see? So the next thing I will do is to join the hip side. Can you see? I'm joining it from down. I'll run the stitch from the down part of my trouser to the waist line. So I'm joining it with 1 inch. So after stitching these parts, I'll go ahead and stitch the other side. It's a very simple trouser. It doesn't have flap, it doesn't have belt holder, and it doesn't have zip. So all you need in this trouser is just to cut it well. So if you can cut it well, you will sew it perfectly. It's a very fitted pants trouser. So the cutting, once the cutting is accurate, you don't have a problem. Can you see? So I'll go ahead and close the crotch area. That's the under, you know where the crotch is. So after that, the next thing I will do is to prepare my band. So I'm going to give my band 1/2 inch folding. After that, I will now fold 1.5 inches. Can you see? After the first 1/2 inch folding, I will now fold it again. So this now is the main band. So after ironing it, the next thing I will do is to attach the band to the trouser itself. So I'll be stitching it from the part I did not fold. Can you see? So at the back of my trouser, the mid back, I will start the stitching. Can you see? I didn't stitch from the beginning of the band because there is no zip. The trouser is already closed everywhere. So I will now go ahead and stitch round. So I will show you how to join the two of them together. Can you see? So I will now, when I get to where I started from, hope you understand this part very well, I will now stitch both of them together. Let me open it and show you. See that part? So that's why I didn't start stitching the band from the beginning. So I will iron it because it's already thick. So I'll make sure I give it a good press so that I'll be able to fold it in
This is actually a crepe, thick crepe material, but it stretches too. It's very good. This is a very nice material. So I will now fold it. So that part is thick. I did not add elastic to the band of this trouser. So the material itself stretches. So if you watch the model, you see that she didn't add any elastic. It's just the fabrics they use. So the same thing I did. So when you're sewing with this kind of fabrics, you just have to cut from the part that stretches very well. You know, when you bring out a fabric, you draw it, there's some parts that stretch. It's either the vertical stretches or the horizontal stretches. So you look for the part that stretches much when you're making this kind of outfits, even if you're making skirts with it. So I'm done fixing the band. So the next thing I will do is go ahead and hem the leg of my trouser. So guys, we are done with the trouser part. So let's go ahead and cut the top. Sorry, I'll be using my pencil later. I will now use my marker to make it bold. So the first measurement I will take is my neck, front neck depth, which is 7.5 inches, followed by 8 inches, and this 8 inches will be my bust line. The next line vertically is my half length, which is 17 inches, followed by 19 inches. So the length of this top is 23 inches. You know, the front part of this top has a basket effect. So I'll come to my neckline. I will take my neck width, which is 3 inches. Then on that same line, I will take my shoulder measurement, which is 16 inches divided by 2. So I will put 8 inches. So I'll come to the middle of my paper. I will take all that line. I will take all that measurements. So I will go ahead and connect them together. Sorry, after this part, I will now make all this line border with my marker. My marker is actually misbehaving. All this marker they produce these days, none of them, they don't last. So I will come to my bust line. I will take the same 8 inches, then I will now connect it to my shoulder line. So that will serve as my armhole line. So I'll do the same thing to my neckline. 3 inches width, I will connect it to the 7.5 inches. So my shoulder line, I came down by 3/4 inch. So that will now serve as my shoulder slope. So I'll go ahead and connect it to my 3 inches neck width. Can you see? That's where I am right now. So I'll connect the armhole line. So I'll go ahead and connect all the lines with my marker. My bust line, my half length line. After that, 19 inches, that's where the side part is going to stop. Then the front, because it has a basket effect, so the front part of the top is longer. It's longer than the side and the back. So that is 23 inches. Can you see all the lines? So that's it. So I'll come to my bust line. I will take my round bust divided by 4. Then I will add 2 inches for both sewing allowance and for ease. You know, there is no breast cup for this top. So I will take all my horizontal measurements, my bust, my round half length. Then I will add 2 inches to my bust, 1.5 inches on my half length, then 1 inch for my hip. That 1 inch is just for the sewing allowance. So from that 19 inches, which is where I took my hip measurement, I will now connect it to the 23 inches. to the front. So that's the back effect. Can you see that? I'll just connect it from the 19 inches. So I'll come to my armhole line. I'll locate the midpoint, then I will now connect it to my bust line. Can you see that? Remember, this top is a sleeveless top, so just watch. So I'll go ahead and cut. Do you see the down part? So I'll cut out the armhole part, then followed by the shoulder slope. So after cutting it, the next thing I will do is to, this is a sleeveless top, so I will cut out another 2 inches from the armhole side of my shoulder, because I don't want that shoulder part to be too wide. Can you see? So I will cut it out. So what I have now is 3 inches on my shoulder. So I'm done cutting the front part of my top. So I'll now use the pattern paper to cut the main fabric. So I'm cutting 2 of these. Can you see? So this is my main fabric. I'll cut one first. I should have cut it on fold, but because I've cut my trouser with this fabric, so it's now like in pieces. So I just have to manage the fabric. This is a 2.5 yards of crepe material. This is actually a very original crepe material. And it's by 60 length. Can you see the front parts? Can you see? So this is what it is. So I'll cut another one. This is for one side. So I'll now go ahead and cut the second one with this. Can you see? So this is the front part of my top. I'll go ahead and cut the back parts with same pattern paper. So I'm taking neck depth of 1 inch, and 3 inches width. So the second measurement I will take is my bust line, which is 8 inches, then my half length, which is 17 inches, then 19 inches. The back doesn't have any basque effect. So I will take 3 inches neck width. So I'll go ahead and connect it. That's where I am right now. Please guys, hope you have given this video a thumbs up. And if you have not subscribed to my channel, please try and do the needful. Thank you so very much. So I will do the same thing, come to the middle and take all the measurements again. So I will now connect them together. Please remember to share this video. This outfit is very, very lovely, as you can see it in that model. So the only difference is just that the model, the back part of her top is open, but this one I didn't make it that way. The owner doesn't want that back part. She just liked the way the front is. So making that part, the back part, is still very easy. So I will take all my horizontal measurements, the same thing I did to the front. My bust, that's my bust line. My bust divided by 4. I will input, then add 2 inches to it. Can you see? So the next thing I will do is to connect my armhole curve. I will come to my shoulder. I will still come down by 3/4 inch. So I'll connect it to the neck width.
sorry, I would make it bolder with my marker. The marker, if I just use it small, it will dry. So that's why I have to do it with my pencil first. Please, I'm very sorry about that. Make all the lines very obvious. Can you see? I keep buying marker. So this is what all the marker does these days. I don't know why. So the back part of the length of the back part is just 19 inches, while the front part is 23 inches. So before joining and everything, you might end up having like 18 inches before joining the shoulder and hemming. So this is what the back part of my top look like. I'm going to cut the back parts on fold. Remember, the back part has no opening. It's only the front part that has button in front. So that's why I have to reserve this part of the fabric for the back part. Can you see? So it's only the front part that has opening because there's a button. So I will now place the front part on top of the back part. Then I will now cut from the armhole because I want the shoulder to be of the same measurement. I want it to be accurate. So that's why I have to place the front on the back part. So the next thing I will do is to cut the facing. I'm using facing for both the front and the back. Can you see? Please watch very carefully. So the width of my facing is 1.5 inches. Can you see? Just watch how I'm cutting it. It's as if you're making a boo-boo lapel. Can you see that? So this is it. As I'm going to turn it. So this is for the two sides, the two front parts. So I'll go ahead and cut for the back. So I'll go ahead and stitch. I'm working on the back neck. I'm working on the back neck first. So after stitching, I will top stitch on the lining. Can you see that? So I'll give it a good press later. So I'll pick up the front. Can you see? I'll place it, then I will stitch. So I will iron hairstay on the front part. I didn't iron around the neck, the front, where I will put where I will fix the buttonhole. I will iron hasty on the two front parts. You know, this material, this fabric is stretchy, so I have to iron hasty on it. Can you see? So the next thing I will do after turning the neck, I will now turn it. See the way I'm holding it. Please make sure you do the right thing. Can you see the two? This is the two front parts. So watch how I'm going to turn it. Can you see? So I will fold the part where I top stitch the neck, then I will fold it and stitch it down. After that, I will still top stitch on the facing. I'll do the same thing on the both sides. I'm top stitching on the facing. So I'll use my scissors to push it out. You see these parts, you push it out very well. So I'll go ahead and iron. Iron it very well. So I'll use my hem gum to hold the facing down. Can you see my hem gum right in front of me? Make sure you iron very well. Can you see what that part is looking like? Very clean. This outfit is top notch. It's 100/100, no minus. So I will iron the back parts. Can you see? So this is the back part. I will now, can you see that? So I'll go ahead and hem the armhole with my bias. I will pipe it. You know how to do that now. So that's the armhole. After stitching, I will now top stitch on the bias. That's all the armhole. I will do the same thing. You know, it's 2 for back and 2 for front. You can decide to join the shoulder before doing this, but I think I prefer this way. It all depends on the fabric I'm working with. Can you see? We are almost through to the end of this tutorial. Please guys, hope you have subscribed to my channel. Hope you have given this video a thumbs up. Please subscribe, comment, share and like. Thank you so very much guys. I really appreciate it. So the next thing I will do is to join the shoulder. Can you see? I'll go ahead and join the shoulder. After joining the shoulder, I will now join the side. Then hem the down part of my top. I did not stitch it. I hem it with my hem gum. Can you see what the shoulder is looking like? So after everything, I try to match the top. I found out that the armhole side is somehow wide, so I have to hold it. Can you see? I have to create a dart. Top, this beautiful outfit you saw at the beginning of this tutorial. So just watch out my button. This is my good button. Please share this video with your loved ones. Thank you so very much for watching, and bye for now.